What does Michael Barrett bring to that Viper position?
Just athletic, tough, still learning, the playbook. But, being a quarterback, I think he has a good foundation of football, understanding the game. So I think he's going to be a really good player when it's all said and done. And just love the kid, so he helps us out a lot.
Are you surprised by how quickly he's picked up going from offense to defense?
Nah, just, the quarterbacks, a lot of times the kids in high school who are quarterbacks, they got a good understanding of football. So that position he plays is kind of like some regards like a quarterback on defense. You're kind of involved from the back end to the front end. So I think he understands the concepts. It's just now a matter of just memorization and just getting comfortable with the different situations that guy's in. So I think he has an advantage from that standpoint. So
who decided to put him there? What was that decision?
You know what? That was Coach Harbaugh and Coach Brown. No. I mean, I was happy, but they kind of made that decision, and I coach them. So.
Devin Gill, what sort of fall camp has he had to this point?
Man, he's a dude. In the words of Coach Brown, I mean, he's another young guy who's kind of making strides and benefiting from the reps. They're getting a lot of reps this camp. And that's really something that he started in the spring. In the spring, he saw him make a lot of plays, and very smart, very football smart. And what I mean by that is he just gets it. He understands kind of the nuances naturally. So his role is being a real linebacker and what we're doing, and kind of helping us out. So he's doing a really good job.
Where have you seen Kalik make big strides?
You said, where
Kalik,
have I?
Yeah, what part of his game?
Just, I think leadership. I think he's taking more of a leadership role. But he's a very gifted player. I mean, you can watch tape from last season, his numbers, a lot of production. But I think the leadership part of, and his pass rushing, his ability to win the one-on-one pass rush. A lot of times he was, in the backfield unblocked. And I still think it takes a good athlete to make those plays. Coach Brown does a great job in terms of putting guys in position. But now I think he's getting comfortable enough to, consistently win the one-on-one matchup, which is, a skill set's involved there. So in coverage, he's consistent. He's a back-end guy that moved up. So he's great there, and he's another smart football player.
What have you seen from Cam McGrone in the early going?
He's a young kid, eager to learn, eager to, assume the role of being a big-time backer, big-time player in our defense. So, been very, impressed with his approach and his effort on a consistent basis, because it's a lot, being a freshman and coming into a new environment and then asked to kind of be a leader of 10 guys when you're not sure exactly what you're doing all the way yet. So there's a lot of effort that goes into that, and he's approached it the right way. So
where do you have him playing as just right now?
Just Mike Will in that world. So, but you're kind of in the center of being a linebacker in defense. Period. Knowing the game, you're usually those guys are your quarterbacks of sorts. You're the kind of the heartbeat of the team, defense. So, I think he's approached it the right way.
Who else is besides Kalik at Viper?
So Jordan Glasgow, he's a guy, and Mike Barrett's a guy who's been taking reps there. But Glasgow is having a really good camp as well. He's picked up from where he left off in the spring. So very pleased with Glass. Very, very pleased with him. So.
Is Devin the leader at Will right now?
I'm sorry?
Is Devin the leader at Will right now?
You know what? I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that.
Okay.
Be honest with you, I think Don Brown would be better, equipped to handle it. But he's played a lot of football. I'll tell you that. So, he and a couple other those guys. So, but he's definitely up there for sure.
From your perspective, how's that battle at Will going?
It's competitive, man. Both guys. All those guys you feel comfortable with. If you were to sit and watch tape, sometimes you got to look and see who's actually in there, because the performance is pretty consistent, and that's not, giving you some, generic answer. That's sincerely what's going on, because those guys are they play a lot. You know, it's not like one guy's getting 60 and the other guy's getting 10. I mean, they are both getting quality reps. So I think it's a good battle if it's a battle, but those guys are just very very comparable.
So many of these guys were first-year starters last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you learn as a second-year starter then from like the close losses that they suffered last year?
Yeah, I just think experience, man. You can't. Experience is probably the most important, quality you can have in any endeavor, right? I mean, so I think they're going to anticipate things. The game will slow down for them. In terms of what we're doing, what we're calling, they kind of have a greater understanding of the nuances that are involved in it. And then just, it's like anything. Like, next year I'll be a better coach. It's like, you'll be a better, writer. It's just like anything. So there's a natural progression involved that you kind of see. And I don't think I think the nerves, you're still nervous, but now it's like, okay, now they got to handle me, as opposed to what am I going to get hit with. So, which is fun, so.
How noticeable is the physical difference since Coach Herbert's got here with your group?
Oh, Coach Herb. Well, you know what? I can't, because when I got here, Herb was here. So, but just from the spring, just physically, man, I mean, those guys, in the words of Ben Herbert, they got dense. He uses that term, dense. But their bodies have changed. You can look at them, durability-wise. Just speaking from the guys I'm dealing with, you see just, when they're confronted with contact, it's just a different sound, man. You can shut your eyes and hear the pads a little different, So he's the best I've been around, and I've been around some good ones. But he's really done a great job of getting the guys to buy in, and then, teaching them and not, trying to beat them down. He's trying to build them up, and not to say that, I'm not speaking on any other, philosophy or criticizing, but it's just from what I've seen from the staff they got there, they're doing an unbelievable job. So you can see the difference.
Have you ever gone through one of his workouts?
No. I probably should. After I saw the before and after, I'm like, damn, I need to do that.
I wasn't suggesting anything.
No, I haven't. But they get after it pretty good. Yeah. So.
Beyond scheme and talent, what's the key to Don Brown getting as much as he does out of the defense?
Just, kids love him, man. It's like anything. You feel like connected to something. You just you're more prone to give effort. Effort's king. So I think our guys play hard, and I think it has a lot to do with how they know how he feels about him. You know what I mean? So I think that's outside of scheme. That's what the real that's the real difference in Coach Brown when he coaches guys. I think.
Good time for a couple more for Coach.
Josh Uche got a lot of praise for his off-season kind of weight gains and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How does that impact what he can do on the field?
Yeah, Josh Uche is, I think, he's young. He's getting older, but very bright. He's one of the most gifted in terms of edge rushers that I've ever been around. And it's 11th year coaching for me, so I haven't, I'm not boasting like 30 years, but kid is different, man. He's explosive. He's better, when being confronted. And you got to remember with him, he was an edge rusher in high school, So playing in a 2-point stance for anybody is different. But he's made strides, man. Really proud of that kid, and excited to see him continue to develop. But he's special in terms of having, like when you watch the tape, he'll jump off, and he's very dynamic in that way. Very pleased with him, and he's works his tail off every day. So.
How much have you picked up from working with Don Brown these last few months?
Oh, man, we'll be here all day. Every day you learn from a schematic standpoint in terms of what he wants, because there's a vision, and it takes time to understand it. but just from how to conduct your business, I think that I've grown a lot just to see how he handles day-to-day situations, how he handles adverse situations, how he handles kids, how he handles, problems that come up, So just overall football, understand seeing the game differently. I've been fortunate to be on all three sides as a player, coaching, offensively, coaching special teams. But this is a deeper understanding of, football defensively. So every day is a learning experience for me, and that's a big reason why I'm here. And so it's been a great experience and fulfilling in that way. Yeah.
How else is he important to you? Like, is there anything else that makes him a good guy to work for?
Who, Coach Brown? I just, he cares. You know what I would say? He'll never allow, whether it's a player or a coach under him, underperform, if that makes sense. And I guess, it's everybody, human nature, you kind of absorb different things, and sometimes, focus, sometimes you lose focus or whatever. But he'll always bring you back. He'll always, in his own way, make sure that you're fulfilling your potential, And so I think that's he's been that for me, and just mentor. If I got a question about anything, he's always there. So he's a great boss in that way. So.
People don't always think about that coaches need motivation too sometimes, right?
Yeah, not so much motivation, but again, it's like you're involved in something, and you need perspective sometimes, especially when you, in your own world, you're looking at one thing, there's a big picture taking place, and sometimes, you need that, you need that big picture perspective at times, and but yeah, that the coaches, the head coach, the coordinators. That is a major part of it, when you're in that position. Just like being a boss, you're responsible for one phase, but there's a big picture going on. Sometimes you need to bring you back to understanding this is what it is. This is why it's important. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.